Hey guys, Drew here, back with another video, and welcome to another episode of Regiment Rewind, where I discuss how the Newfoundland Regiment have been doing as of late. And I was thinking about it last night, where I opened up my things with how the regiment are doing as of late. I had no idea what to plan it as. I kind of just did it one video, and then I kind of just stuck with it. I don't know why, but I just figured I'd talk about it for a quick sec because I don't know where it came from. If anybody's wondering. But anyways, back to the game now as the regiment lose 4-3 to the Moncton Wildcats. So both games are both 1-goal game losses. So it's good to see the regiment had a good effort in both of these contests. As Moncton overall, they just were the better team in this one. I'm going to be quite honest with you. In that first period, at least. Once the game went on, the regiment did have a better effort here and there, but Louis-Antoine Deneau, a brutal game from him. He was letting in goals that he really shouldn't have. Now, don't get me wrong, Moncton's lineup top and bottom was absolutely spectacular, but Deneau, there was just a couple saves or a couple goals that he shouldn't have made. Should have stopped as Moncton were getting those chances into the back of the net. An 800 save percentage for him as Moncton finished the night with only 20 shots, as the regiment had 43. They were doubling Moncton's shots and lost the game. That's just like the regiment had a great weekend. I hope the guys are holding their heads high because this effort against a team like the Moncton Wildcats, with amazing coaching, amazing players, are able to get the job done in these games. But the goals in this game, might as well mention it. Justin LaRose got the first goal for the regiment on the power play, his 32nd of the season. LaRose goals in back-to-back games. Not too shabby if you ask me. And then Merrick Danachek got one as well. A very weird goal. Guimond was stopping everything for Moncton, and this is the goal he lets in. I was a bit surprised. Danachek was kind of just in like a 1-on-3, and he kind of just flinged it on net. It squeaks through the 5-hole and beat Guimond into the back of the net. And then Danachek got one as well when the regiment were down 4-2 with 30 seconds left to make the game 4-3. And it seemed like there was a chance that maybe the regiment could do what they did the night prior against the Wildcats. But I mean, 30 seconds is really hard to try to get a goal. They came close. Like, they had a couple offensive zone chances before the buzzer went. But Danachek got one there on the extra attacker. That's his 31st and 32nd of the season. So he ties LaRose for most goals on the regiment. So Danachek playing himself a pretty good game. I did think he had a bit of a bad game the night before. He just didn't seem like himself. But in this one, he seemed pretty solid and was a pretty good player for the regiment. Not only this game, but all season long. As I said, the shots were 43-20 for the regiment. They were just peppering Guimond, but he was stopping everything, it felt like. And then Deneau, like, you know, you want a better performance. Now, I understand he's been bailing us out most games, but just a bit of a better performance from Deneau would be sweet, as the regiment are going to play Halifax next weekend. And I think I'm not a jinxing guy, but I do have a very good feeling that this weekend is going to go very, very good for the Newfoundland Regiment. So Halifax, for those who don't know much about the Q or anything like that, Owen Bresson, who's their starting goaltender, and he's also a pretty solid goaltender. Like, I don't know if his stats are too good or not, but he got in a goalie fight the other day with Arseny Radkov on the St. John Sea Dogs. So for those who don't know, a goalie fight is an automatic 5-game suspension, and so Bresson's done for the season. So he won't be here next weekend when Halifax comes. And why would they give a goalie a 5-game suspension? The QMJHL fighting ban just rattles me. Like, there was no point in banning a fight because that's what hockey is all about. Like, everybody, well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that want to go and see the fights. Like, it's one of the, like, there's goals and then there's probably fights. Like, it's right neck and neck there. But I mean, 5 for just the way they play their position. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, if a player, they just get 1 game or if it's staged, I believe it's 3 games. But so that was kind of staged. But maybe just give them 3. Like do what they do with a regular player. But because they're a goalie for some reason, they have to get more discipline, which I don't agree with. But I'll go back to the Regiment as they play Halifax next week, and it should go very well for them. I do expect Antoine Proulx to start one of the games. Maybe he starts on Friday since Tano went back to back this weekend, or maybe he just finishes the year. Saturday's game, for those who don't know, also I might as well mention this, will be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, 3:30 for those people who are watching in the Maritimes area. So it'll be a bit of an interesting game. I don't really know if I've ever been to a Regiment Saturday matinee game to finish off the QMJHL season. Also, last night we clinched home ice in the Gilles Courteau Cup playoffs, in the first round at least. So the Regiment are going to play one of Cape Breton, Charlottetown, or the Quebec Rempart, and it should be interesting to see who we get. I believe if the season ended today, we're going to play the Cape Breton Eagles, which it should go well for the Regiment. They struggled with the Eagles earlier in the year, and then as the season went by, they kind of picked up their game a little bit against the Eagles. And I'll have a playoff preview for that series, or whoever the Regiment play in the first round, before the series starts, of course. But I've heard the rumored first game will be on Thursday, the 26th. I don't know if that's a true source or not. But if it is, just make sure you're ready to cheer on the Regiment. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I do think the defense was a bit brutal for Dano. Alexis Mathieu and Kingsley Austin, that D pair has got to be broken up, because Mathieu, he's such an intriguing player, guys. Like, there's times where he'll have a shift and he's really good, but then there's times he's back there, and I'm going to imitate him. He like has the puck and he just flings it up the middle, and there's a Moncton player there and he just gives them a free pizza. Like, I don't know why, but he just does it, and sometimes it can bite you in the butt. So Mathieu, I didn't like the trade to Baie-Comeau. I loved Biagio Jr. Daniele. I did think Mathis Saint-Gelais was going to become a really good Newfoundland Regiment player. But from what I heard about Mathieu, he was going to be a really good defensive defenseman, which he has been for the Regiment. But there's just those types of times where he's back there and he just flings it up the middle. I don't know what he has, what he loves about it, but he just does it, and sometimes it doesn't work. So Kingsley Austin, though, like, as the season went by, but as the game went by, he got a bit better. Like, he was pinning guys against the walls, trying to get those offensive zone possessions, you could say. He was on the ice for a bit of 4-on-4 action as well. So it seemed like Gordy trusted him last night. So yeah, it was just a pretty solid game from Austin. Mathieu, on the other hand, like, you could expect better, but I mean, there's always time to improve before the playoffs start, as the Regiment only have 2 games left before the season ends for the Regiment, against the Halifax Mooseheads. I've said that multiple times before. Limited tickets available. There aren't much left, so make sure to get your tickets at marybrowncentre.ca, I believe it is. One last thing I want to talk about before this video ends. The Regiment, I've really noticed these past 2 games. I don't know if it's Moncton having problems to close out their games, or the Regiment are just a third period team, because they start off the game like the Regiment. They scored. Moncton scored 4 goals. All their 4 goals were scored in the first period. The Regiment just didn't look invested in this game. And then the second period went by and things got a little bit better, but Moncton was still getting glorious chances on like power play or 5-on-5 even. Like, they were just hammering us in the offensive zone. But when the third period came, I don't know where a light switch is, but I can imitate it. Like, a light switch got flipped up for the Regiment. So it's crazy how they were able to do that Bose game, try to get it close in the end. But ultimately, Moncton came out with 2 W's. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do like this video, you can subscribe if you liked it. We're almost at 400 subscribers, so if you can hit that subscribe button down below, I would truly appreciate it. We'll be back next weekend with some more Mooseheads recaps, and then it's going to be playoff time. Like, the Regiment playoffs are just coming sooner rather than later. And it's crazy that this first season is almost over. But yeah, until then, I'm Drew, not the hockey guy. We'll be back next week for more of Regiment Rewind. Until then, I will talk to you all again soon.